Good morning, everybody. My name is Skyler Fleming. I'm excited today to show you a day in my life as a podcast host and a financial coach. I usually always end up starting the morning out with our cute little puppy Maple, who is a little rascal and likes to play tug of war with her leash right now. But I'm excited to show you a day in my life and some of the things I do here with my podcast, Money Talk with Skyler Fleming. Normally every morning, my wife and I will put our puppy back in her kennel, take my wife to work. I work from home, but my wife and I both have e-bikes that we love to ride, and these save us a ton of money on gas and car expenses. We love to bike everywhere. I'm even crazy snow and cold, and I just love biking everywhere. And e-bikes are a really great, easy way to get around, and that's how we like to get to work. Alrighty, now that I'm back inside from the cold biking, now I can begin to plan my day. I'll usually start with some time spent looking at my calendar, my email, things like that. In my day job, I'm a marketing manager, but I have the day off to spend with my wife because today is her day off as well. So we'll spend the day together. I usually start off by planning my day. You'll see here I'm beginning to work on some podcast stuff and beginning to record some things for my show. But I'm excited for today to really show you a day in my life. I got a lot of great things planned. One thing that I do want to mention is my wife recently graduated from PA school. With that came some student loans and us having money talks about how to handle those student loans. So if you have any sort of student loan questions, issues, I love to talk about that sort of thing. I learned a lot through my research trying to figure out how we would pay off and manage and handle our student loans, and how we would even save money and not take out nearly as many student loans as some of her peers. So love to talk about student loans with you. It's really an area that I've learned a lot about over the last couple years. So the day's moving right along. My wife and I, we ate some lunch together. We've been enjoying our day off, really. But I wanted to talk to you about budgeting a little bit and how much I love budgeting, especially sinking funds, which I like to call saving through budgeting. It's one of the ways we afforded our cute little puppy is by saving month over month for her so that we could buy her when she was ready to go. We saved over several months so that when it came time to purchase and make the purchase, the money was ready. So we didn't try to save it all at once because that's a little bit unrealistic, especially for larger purchases. So when you save it month over month, it makes it a whole lot easier to build up those larger amounts in sinking funds to save for those bigger purchases. So I wanted to talk to each of you about how me and my wife budget, maybe share a little bit with you and learn about how you budget. We like to, every single month on the last Sunday of the month, sit down and have a budget meeting together. We will sit down, look at the previous month's spending, figure out where we did or didn't do great, and make adjustments as needed, and then plan the next month ahead. One thing that I think is super crucial for us is an agenda. I know it sounds weird and a little businessy, but an agenda has helped us a ton when it comes to writing out our priorities, writing down our goals, and especially in the middle of the month where me, the money nerd, has a bunch of ideas brewing in my mind, I can write them down on that agenda, and I know we're going to get to it towards the end of the month, and we'll have plenty of time to make plans and make adjustments for the things that we want to do together. So having regular money talks with those monthly budget meetings are a huge deal for us and really help us out a lot. But I also love sinking funds. Like I was just mentioning with our puppy, we've also used sinking funds for a recent trip to Hawaii. We use them a lot to help avoid some student loans with my wife's college, and we use them for really everything. They're a great place to plug in your money, and they go hand in hand well with zero-based budgeting or the envelope method, where that money can just continue to carry over month. So how do you use sinking funds? I know for me, I use them for things like annual subscriptions to turn them into monthly subscriptions, where you can get some cost savings for choosing an annual purchase, but you break it down into that monthly subscription so it's still that smaller amount. That's one way that we like to use sinking funds, and I think they're fantastic. My wife and I both love them, and they're really how we've been able to do so well with our money when it comes to saving up for large purchases. I once again find myself outside, and of course it's hanging out with our cute puppy, but I do need some tips from everybody. What are your tips for helping train a dog? Have you trained a puppy recently? Do you have any advice or suggestions to especially help train her outside, because that's when we lose her interest? It's very easy to have her sit and follow treats inside, but training her outside is hard. So I need some suggestions. How did you train your puppies and dogs to follow you outside? It is now time for dinner, time to start cooking dinner. Tonight we're having 1-pot cheeseburger pasta. This is one of our favorite meals. My wife and I we plan about a month out in advance of our meals. We pick up one grocery order a month, and then maybe we'll get some as we need it. But This really allows us to plan out our meals in advance and save a lot of money by not going to the store and getting those impulse purchases. Honestly, we hardly snack because we run out of snacks from our one grocery order a month. So we're excited for tonight's dinner. While I definitely think meal planning can be a huge tip, here's kind of a crazy tip of something I've done in the past to help with tracking our expenses and things like that. I would actually log the cost of all of our grocery items, which would allow me to get a cost per serving on our meals. So I would be able to plan out how much our meals cost and make sure to choose the most efficient one. And I was able to track the prices of certain ingredients, which helped us order things at the right time. And I know that's a bit crazy, but guess what? You don't have to be as crazy or do as much crazy things with your finances as I do in order to be good with money. Getting started simple, just start talking about money and start tracking your expenses is a great way to take some first steps towards doing better with your money. Coming up here towards the end of the evening, I just got done recording a guest appearance on another friend's podcast. It was a great time. I love recording my podcast. I love hosting my podcast and going on other shows. I wanted to mention real quick the power of talking about money, and whether you're talking with a financial coach or you're talking with friends and family, that's how we all do better with money together. And a day in my life, honestly, I probably bring up money at least once to my wife throughout the day, but there's ways to have good, healthy money talks. And really, I think any money coach out there is going to help you get started with those good money talks. So that's what I like to do with my podcast, but that's been a day in my life. My name is Skyler Fleming. I'm joining here on My Budget Coach. So thank you all for watching a day in my life. And of course, let me know if you have any puppy training tips. I'm still looking for help with that.